Good evening, creatures and entities. Welcome to the Exocloud stream. I almost forgot how to do an intro. It's been a long time. Okay, this light is really low. There we go. Nice and blown out the way I like to be. Next. Move that over. That's better. How's everyone doing? Hope you've been well. I've been out, but now I'm back. And we're doing some Godot. Man, I need to get some more lights. The lights are gonna bother me until I fix them. What if I put it way up here? Oh, that's better. Well, let's hop into some Godot. I have no idea what I'm doing. For example, if I play this scene, I got this ball here. I can jump, I can move around, but the ground is black, which it shouldn't be. So I'm wondering if I need to play with these materials, or if the light isn't recognizing the ground. I don't know. Hold on, let me check. Music's good. Always sounds a bit too loud to me. Well. Wait, assign? Visibility parent? What does that mean? What? I'm confused. Visibility parent? The visibility range defines the visibility range for this node and its subtree. The visibility parent must be a geometry instance 3D. Any visual instance will only be visible if the visibility parent is hidden. But halfway through the sentence, I'm not following. What? Inherit. Pausable. When paused. Disabled. Thread group. What does any of this mean? I am confused. Good old RPG Maker, you didn't need lights or cameras. Normal bias? There's a lot to learn. Okay, let's go back to this, because I don't know what's going on. Shading, per pixel, burly diffuse mode, disable ambient light. No, I think that's fine. Visibility on. visibility parent. What does this mean? And I'm not getting an adequate answer from the program itself, so just 1 minute. This really isn't the problem I should be looking up. Allows automatically hiding child nodes if it's parents. I wanted to remove this one. Hold on. That's better. Allows automatically hiding child nodes if its parent is visible given its current visibility range properties. I think this is beyond me and it's not really related to my problem. Light, not lighting. Google AI, you don't know. The light's not working when I play scene. Problem with directional lights. It's not lighting up my scene. Maybe this is what I need. Directional light casts parallel rays, so if the surface and rays are parallel... Hey, maybe that's it. Oh, that totally is it. Look at this. So the problem is, it's going straight ahead. So it's not even hitting the ground. Okay. That will, indeed, be the problem. So, what, do I just... Yep, that's it. Hey! Alright, so that's something. Of course, even the object has a little arrow, which I should have seen, but that's me being a dummy. Shadows are not supported when using GL compatibility backend yet. Support will be added in a future release, so I guess that's something I can ignore. Wait, shadows aren't available on a light? Because I'm using GL compatibility backend. There's so much I just don't know. And keep in mind, I spent like a couple of years figuring all of this out. All this, the entire tower, how to do this in Unity. I did all of this without understanding a whole lot, so I feel like that's going to continue in my exploration of Godot. No idea what I'm doing. Sky mode, light and sky? Light only, sky only. Okay, well, that can be sky. What else do I need to learn? Well, I want to make this a visible character, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. I was following a tutorial, but I don't know if that's what I should do next. I think I should look at this code and try to figure out how code works. So in C#, things are looking a little bit different. Like each line would need a semicolon. But this works a bit differently. But I'm looking at this and I can kind of see what's going on. Like if input jump action is pressed, you jump. Y equals jump velocity, which will do some math and make you jump in the air. These are your input directions. If you're inputting, you do the direction. Move and slide? Wait, is this referenced anywhere else? No. I guess that's just something that might happen. I don't know. Okay, well. Let's add another thing. Let's just do something without any help from a tutorial. I want to add a little platform. Static body. And to that, we add collision shape. And to that, we add a mesh. And that mesh is going to be a torus. No. Placeholder mesh. Let's just make it a cylinder. And then we'll take this. Let's resize it. I have another issue here. What is it? A shape must be provided for a collision shape 3D to function. Oh. So cylinder. There we go. Oh, but it doesn't match. Look at that. I think I did everything wrong. Well, let's play test this anyway. I can't jump over it. Also, I'm clipping through it. That is where the collision shape is not aligning. I wonder if I can fix that. No. Well, close enough. Okay, can I jump over this? I can now. Everything's looking good. Can you see this? It's very small. There we go. The physics here are very stiff. I just I let go of a direction, I just fall. Is that something I can fix over here? Yes, kinda. Moving platform input. Axis lock? No. Collision floor? Motion mode. Let's go back to this. Script. Move and slide. I feel like slide is what I want to change. but I don't know exactly how I should do that. I think maybe this is a bit too simple. And what did I do? Let's make a couple more of these. I just want to play around with jumping. The controls don't feel great. I don't want to just do patchwork scripts like I did with Unity, because I want to actually learn how to use the program. So I think I might need to actually go to YouTube and look up some tutorials. I think I'm gonna have to take this to YouTube and learn some things. I think I want to look up that tutorial I was looking at before. I was in step 2 here. Importing from Blender. I don't need to learn that because I don't use Blender. Rolling in keys. Let's learn about menus. Okay, what do you got for me?
Hello and welcome to part 6 of creating a simple move and dodge 3D video game using the Godot game engine. My name is Colin, and in this video we're going to continue making this simple 3D move and dodge game where you are a ball and you roll around a maze using keys on your keyboard. You collect coins, you avoid enemies, and if you collect all the coins in the game, you go to a you win screen. Of course, if you hit an enemy, you go to the game over screen and you can go back to the menu and try again. This is part 6 in this mini-series of about 9 or 10 videos or so. So if you've not seen the previous 5 videos in this mini-series, I'll put a link to that playlist on the screen right now. But in this video, we're going to go ahead and add menus to our game. We actually have 3 of them to make. We have a title menu with a play button. We have a game over screen and a you win screen if you collect all the coins in the game. So first off, we're going to learn how to create menu screens in the game. Next off, number 2, we're going to learn how to create on-screen menu text, so text on the screen, and actually be able to use whatever font that we want pretty much in our game. We're going to add background colors, that's number 3, so you can have whatever background color you want in your menu. Number 4, we're going to add buttons to our menu that we can actually click or hover over that will have style and text on them. And last but not least, we're going to program the buttons using something called signals, which allow us to click the button and have a certain piece of code execute, and that way we can switch scenes in our game when we press a button to play again or to go back to the menu.
I need another scene.
First off, we're actually going to fix a small error that we have in our project to do with shadows and walls. So that's number 0. That's the first thing that we're going to fix in this video. But of course, if you like this video or if you learned something, go ahead and click on that like button below this video. It really helps out me and this channel. If you want to see more videos like this one,
I might need to pay attention to that because I had a shadow thing earlier saying, hey, we don't want to do shadows.
Whenever I upload a new
I should
tutorial.
probably
So let's
pay
go
attention.
ahead and jump into Godot. I've got my game project open, and in the last video we added maze walls using this grid map node along with a mesh library of 2 different blocks that we exported from Blender 2.8. But you will notice there is something not quite right about the walls. They are not casting shadows. My ball here is casting a shadow. This block that's going to fall when I play on my game is casting a shadow. I've got a problem with my lamp. I spent some time in the last video making my scene have ambient occlusion or screen space ambient occlusion to get the...
Okay, I'm gonna take a break from this now. I kind of want to figure out how to fix the light on my own. And what exactly was the problem? It's not the type of light. GL compatibility. Well, how do I change the thing I'm using? Process inherits? I can add a script in my light if I want to. I definitely want it to be fast. Oh, you can have negative lights. That's interesting. Shadows enabled. I'm not seeing any shadows. Let's go to project settings. Rendering method. What if I use forward plus? This changes for all of them. I don't really know what the difference is, but I guess we'll find out. Well, there are my shadows. Also, let's take our camera and make it a child of the player, see what that does. Okay, it's not changing direction. Which I actually think I want for the type of game I want to make. I like this. And in fact, how do I show the camera? View? 2 viewports. And how do I make this the camera? Display normal? Display advanced? No, not what I'm... Oh, there we go. Let's see. Oh, that's better. Oh, the material's empty. Surface material override? Okay. Alright, well, let's get back to the tutorial.
The shading kind of nicer, but if I select my directional light in my scene, it has properties that I kind of messed up in an earlier video where I tweaked to have bad settings. One thing I will note that if you switch into orthographic view or orthogonal view in Godot versus perspective, shadows will or may not appear the right way. I think in the last video I was looking at my scene a lot through orthogonal, and when you do that, your ambient occlusion might not even show up at all, or your shadows, depending on your graphics card. So there we go, perspective will let you see them better. But still, with my directional light selected, if I go to the inspector and change these two settings, normal bias and bias split scale, and I can just click these little circular arrow buttons to reset them. Aha, see, now we get shadows back from our walls. Okay, if I reset that one too, that might be good. You might play around with these if your shadows are acting weird, but we should leave these at the defaults, and now they hopefully are. So that's number 0 done. Let's go ahead and make a new scene for the title menu in our game. So I'll press this little plus button up here. In fact, I'll go back to my level and do a quick save. When you press this little plus button and you make a new scene, you get the option, once it finishes saving the other scene, when you make a new scene with the plus button, you get the option to create a root node for the scene, and it defaults to 3D, but a menu in this game is going to be a 2D level or 2D scene, so I'm going to click on 2D at the top, and the first node that I'm going to create, well, actually I have a shortcut for it here, is going to be a control node, but you can just click on user interface to create that. A control node is the basis for everything that you can use in a menu, essentially. This menu is
I was not paying attention. So that's ADHD brain. Earrings were kind of bothering me. I was cheating, I have clip-ons, but they're very tight. They're kind of hurting. So I'm not going to wear them until I can figure out how to loosen them up a bit. Kind of snap in place. Alright, let's just go right back.
So there we go, perspective will let you see them better, but still, with my directional light selected, if I go to the inspector and change these two settings, normal bias and be good, you might defaults. Make a new stack, I'll go back to my level and do a quick save. When you press this little plus button and you make a new scene, you get the option, once it finishes saving the other scene, when you make a new scene with the plus button, you get the option to create a root node for the scene, and it defaults to 3D, but a menu in this game is going to be a 2D level or 2D scene, so I'm going to click on 2D at the top, and the first node that I'm going to create, well, actually I have a shortcut for it here, is going to be a control node, but you can just click on user interface to create that, a control.
Okay. New thing, 2D, user interface. Easy.
That is the commercial alarm. 1 minute while ads load.
1 minute. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna go get some water, so I forgot to get some. Enjoy ads if you're getting ads. Demon, hello! You're just in time for ads. I'm gonna be back in a minute, so I'm just gonna grab some water. You're pink now, that's awesome. Pink is great. Alright. It won't be more than a second. Don't go anywhere. I'll know if you do. Okay, I'm back. Demon, how's it going? It's been like a week since I streamed. Oh, there goes the break screen. All right. I guess I'm just sitting here waiting. I think I figured this out now. I got it. It's in. I bent this earring just a little bit, so hopefully it won't like tear my ear off. I'll fix the other one later. Alright, what else you got, guy?
This is for everything that you can use in a menu, essentially. This menu is the size of our game, so it's 1,280 pixels wide because we changed that in a previous video, and it's 720 pixels tall because again we changed that in the previous video. To add text to our menu, I'm going to press or select the control node and press the plus, and if I just look through all of my available nodes, the control node is a category. It's a node by itself because we've added one already, but it's a category of the things that you might want to have in a menu. And the first thing we're going to add is called a label, and a label is just a piece of text on your screen. So I'll select that, press create, and we get this tiny little label. If I make it bigger and it does nothing, in order to put text in it, I can select it, and then over in the inspector I can click under text in this text box, and I can type something like simple 3D game, and that's going to be the title of my game. And as you can see, I've got that text there. It's really small and it's really boring, so we're going to fix that. In this box, depending on how big you have it, you can align, and those are the next properties in your inspector, the text to be centered. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to align left and right. I'm going to make it center, so now it's middle. And
wait, what did you do?
I'm going to do center as well. I'm going to make it centered. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to align left and right. I'm going to make it centered, so now it's middle. And then V-align, I'm going to do center as well. So now the text will always be in the
vertical alignment. Well, it's not. Oh, that's... Okay. It's literally vertical alignment within the box. That makes sense.
middle of this box. What I suggest that you do, and there are really good ways of
you guys can hear
different
him.
types of nodes to organize a menu screen, so that if you change the size of the window, the menu pieces will all kind of align themselves very nicely. We're just going to make this for a static sized menu today, so we're not going to get into advanced layout topics. But what I suggest that you do is you change the rectangle property of your label to be the same size as the width of your screen or your viewport. So what I'm going to do is go down to the rectangle of the label, and I'm going to make its size 1280 pixels wide, and then it doesn't really matter how tall.
Wait, what? Control layout. There's no rect. How do I get rect? Because I don't have it. Anchor, margin. I don't have any of those things. Under control layout. So it must be different between his version of Godot and mine. And position 0. Seems that the game window is not as wide as I thought it was. Project settings. Display window. Why is it 1152 by 648? That's stupid. Okay, all better.
It is because it gets centered, but you can also drag the top as well, and that way you can make your title centered if that's what you want. Fonts. Fonts are not built into a Godot game unless you put them into a Godot game. You actually need to go and get a font file and include it in your project folder on your computer. So that's what we're about to do. There's a website that I suggest that you check out. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. It's called fontlibrary.org.
Okay. Well, let's go there. What kind of font should I get? I don't even know what kind of game I want to make. If we go back to Milanote, I believe this is new project. I wanted to make a new game that was kind of like a compilation game, like Game & Watch Gallery, Retro Game Challenge, Game Center CX on the DS, which I've played on stream. Or something like Mario Paint and the Space Outlaw, but I haven't nailed anything down yet. So, for the moment, I guess I'm just gonna get a font that kind of just looks good. And then, I can add something more fitting later. Black letter, I think that's what I want to go with. Groba Deutschmeister? Because that's not an S set, that's a B. Groba. Anyway. I don't know if I like any of these. The New York Times? I don't think so. Maybe black letter's not what I'm looking for. Hello again, Swizzy. I saw you earlier. Did you leave? Display? Oh. You're back. So you did step away for a minute. I want sans serif. Swizzy, what font should I put in the game? Because I don't know. Guten Tag, engraved. Grotesque medium. Hussar. I'm gonna crash my stream, English or Spanish. No comprendo. Presuru. Regular. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, qu'est-ce suis-je? Robotech. Rabbit Highway. I don't know. Don't know why I'm... Si mueves tu gay? Wait, I don't know what that one is. I don't know mueves. I don't know that word. I guess my Spanish isn't as good as I thought it was. Move? What if... Move? I need to brush up on my Spanish. It's my third language. Oh. If you move, you're gay. Well. Take that. These are all the same fonts. Okay, this really doesn't matter. I just need to download one of these. Is this the download button? It looks very sketchy. This is what I believe the kids would say is sus. All right, let's go for it. Whatever. I'm taken to a completely different website. I'm just gonna do a search for fonts. I did not like that. If you have the Discord link, yes, type !Discord and you'll get it. Or at least it should work like that. There it is. The font. This is one I always used. This is a good one. What do we want? Fancy? Yes, fancy. Let's get a groovy font. I'm gonna get some retro cool. Get this, whoa! Autumn fries. Let's unzip this, just a moment. You do have to clean that up. You can eat the fries right off the floor, by the way. They're clean, don't worry. I clean these floors every day and there are no germs in space, so it's fine. Look, there's one right there. There are many others, I don't know where they went. Oh well. Anyway, what was I doing? Unzipping. Extract all. Okay. Now what, guy?
And this is a site where you can get free fonts that, for the most part, you can use in any project that you want. There are a few conditions. I believe there's hundreds and hundreds of them. You can see how many there are based on categories, and they're great. So what I suggest that you do is go up to, on this website, the fonts link at the top.
Guy, I know how to use a website.
By
That's not what I'm here for.
There, work. Games for this area free font. By the way, font files often end in .ttf and .otf. Those are common file types that will work in Godot. So I'm going to select those 3 font files and I'm going to copy them.
What?
I'm going to go into my project folder on my desktop and I'm going to make a new.
Oh, I need to find the project. Well, what if I just do this? Assets, new folder. What is a WAF file? There's .waf and .waf too. Do you curse? I can curse. I'm just not... I don't think there's anything special about words. So I don't really care. You know, like, it's just sounds that come out of your mouth, so whatever.
New folder for fonts, not fonts, but fonts.
Fonts.
And I'm going to paste those 3 font files into that folder, and I can go back into Godot and it'll import them hopefully right away. And I think it already did it in the background because I already have this fonts file or folder rather in my file system, so I can go and see them there. So how do you actually use these fonts in your game on a label? Well, if I select the label and I go down to, there's lots of sections for a label and its properties of text, but if I go down to custom fonts and open that up.
Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Except I don't have that. So, label settings. Display text. Biddy? What is Biddy? Biddy? Am I gonna celebrate 4th of July? I don't know. There's probably gonna be fireworks like out my window. So maybe I'll take a look, but other than that, I don't have any plans. How about you? You doing anything special? I was never really a 4th of July kind of kid. Sometimes there would be like a family barbecue or something. Okay, this guy has these. I don't have those. I'm gonna do fireworks. That's awesome. You gonna watch fireworks, or do you have like the ones you go buy from like a shady roadside like pop-up shop? Because I like doing those. I like the little snakes, little tanks. You got the tanks that you light up and they go around and then they explode. I'm only now remembering that I like fireworks. Lit a firework in this room? What? Don't do that. Language, text direction. Okay, what if it's layouts? not layout. Not localization. Wait a minute. Auto translate? No, do not do that. That's a bad. Jeez. Yeah, that's a bad thing. How's Fritz doing? I don't know. Let's see. Fritz! How's it going? What are you doing? You know, he's supposed to be taking care of the stream and like making sure everything's running correctly. That screen is black. Oh well. He's trying his best. That's how he's doing. I guess. I don't know. Focus input theme? Theme. What does that mean? Texture? No. Material? No. Everything should be right here in label. Displayed text. Nope, no font here either. What is going on? What is this? Script? No. Canvas item. This is aggravating. For those on newer versions of Godot, this angel leaving the best comment in the world. Font settings are under theme overrides fonts. Okay. Load? Okay. Font sizes. Oh yeah. Nice. Okay.
I can enable a font, and so I'll check that box. And I can't just drag a
But your new name is Scooters FNF, like Five Nights at Freddy's. Scooters. Scooters is okay. It gives the same vibe as Swizzy.
font file across into there, because what you're actually doing here is
Friday Night
creating
Funkin'.
a resource file inside Godot that's either going to be a bitmap font or a dynamic font.
I guess if it were Five Nights at Freddy's, it would be a 5. Or no, people say FNAF. There would be an A in there. Okay. Yeah, that's my bad.
And for these, we're going to use dynamic fonts. So I'm going to select new dynamic font. And once I do that, this is a resource, so I can click on it to expand out its little section, or I can collapse it, again, by clicking on it. But if I expand that little dynamic font resource section, I can go into its font category. Yeah, it's pretty big and pretty confusing here. And its font data is where I can drag the font that I want. So I'm going to use maybe that no-go font casual in this dynamic font. And as you can see, I can see it there. It's really, really small, so I'll tweak that in a sec. If I want to change it later, I can do it. I can just drag in another font right there. But I'm going to see which one I like best. You know what?
Hey, Fritz is doing his best. Be nice to Fritz.
Yeah, okay. So the font that I've
He's
just
probably
made
not paying attention
also
anyway.
includes its size. So if I collapse the font section, but we're still working in this dynamic font, and I open up settings, I can change the size here. I'm going to try 80 font size. And there we go. It got bigger. Let's make that even bigger. Let's make it 120 or so. So that's going to be the title of my game. You might want to check this use filter option depending on your font. You might smooth out the appearance of the font. You might not get as much
oh, use filter. Certified green boy. Fritz is pretty green. I wonder, could you like call him soy boy? Okay, so I'm not getting that from this. Constants, colors. Oh yeah, colors. Okay, so I want an outline. So how do I do an outline? It doesn't matter. Kendrick Lamar? I don't know anything about Kendrick Lamar. We don't get him out here in space. Ability? I kind of want to really figure this out, but I should move on.
Egginess. Yeah, it'll kind of blur the edges a little bit, which will really help some fonts. And then you can change the color under, not the font, so not under the font tab. So I can click on the name of this dynamic font, and I can go down to custom colors, and here I can define not only a font color by clicking on the checkbox and then picking in the color picker the color that I want. So I'm going to give it kind of an aqua-y, greeny color, and I'm going to give it a shadow as well. And so if I enable shadows and then give it a shadow color, some sort of orangey color,
pizza time.
Kind of see it there. But once I enable a font shadow, there's another section.
I always wish I had a pizza.
Constants. Yeah, there's lots of little menus and sub-menus and things to expand here. It gets kind of confusing. Under custom constants, I can enable shadow offset.
Can you eat the pizza? You can try.
That I can drag to offset.
I've tried.
In those two sections. The
shadow offset, custom constants. What? Focus, input, theme overrides, constants. Oh. So outline, oh wait. This is what I wanted, the outline. Okay, there we go. Oh, I love those emotes. I forgot I had that chip. Wait, is that my chip? Whose chip is that? That's global. I was like, I know I've seen that chip before. It's because it's global.
Oh, that I want. So I don't like orange necessarily. Maybe I'll change it to, I don't know. Maybe a pinky color. Sure. I kind of like that. Okay, so that's my simple 3D game. If you want to change the rotation of this text, that's under the rectangle or rect property. Again, this is where we changed the size earlier. Here it
Warning,
is.
the ads are here. Tell us when the nightmare has ended.
Okay, ads are coming. If you're getting a nightmare, tell us when the nightmare's over. I guess I'm just going to hang back and wait for ads to happen. Or at least I'm going to wait for my ad overlay to come on and go back off. Twitch chip. Eat your Twitch chips. Get a snack. Get some water. Yeah, I'm afraid so. I gotta make my 2 or 3 cents off this ad break, so. Actually, I'm probably not even getting that. Anyway, I'm just gonna hang out. Yeah. Can I say Urfig Fudd, Besisix. Yeah, I did it. So yeah. Totally. I'll even give that last one a shot. Nudef, Koth, Dif. Don't challenge me to all of this. I'm the queen of random letters. Okay. Where'd my other earring go? I want to fix that one too. This is feeling alright. Oh my god, I lost it. I'm gonna spend this entire ad break looking for this other earring. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna chomp that pizza down so quick. Okay, I got it in. I am full blown pretty now. Even though the hair's going over that anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm going back into it.
Rotation, and I can rotate around this pivot point here, and I believe you can change the pivot offset.
Turn off the ads?
Well,
I'd like to.
I haven't really played with that too much, so you can...
The problem is, if I don't run ads, I will... I'll get pre-rolls for people coming in. So I can't. Sorry.
Rotate. If you hold shift, I believe, or just drag in here.
Also, if you're missing anything right now, you're missing this guy go like, oh. So I don't think you're missing much.
You can rotate it more subtly than with the little dragger. Okay, so maybe I'll make that, and then I'm going to go maybe back to the font, dynamic font, and change the font size to make it a little bit bigger, maybe 150, and I like that. Okay, next up, our background colors. We don't want this default gray, so I'm going to select my control, the root node of the scene again, and I'm going to press the plus. What we have to add a background color under control is called a color rect, or color rectangle. So I'm going to select it, press create.
Hold on, what? You're finally over? Alright, you didn't miss much. Just the guy talking. Yeah, I can't turn ads off, I'm sorry. It's just the way Twitch works. Ads will happen whether we like it or not. So the least I can do is make sure pre-rolls don't happen. Color rect. This is where I get wrecked. Okay, now I know.
It's now a child of the control, the main root node of the scene. If it's a child of your label, well, you can just drag it onto the control node. Now, this color rect is this little thing up here. It's a square with a color. It's white, and it's on top of our title right now.
Wait, no, it isn't. It's nowhere. Tiny.
But we also want to not only fix that, we want to put it behind, we also want to make it the right size. So again, just like with the label, if I select color rect and I go over to its inspector and look at its properties, I can change its rectangle position. So if I moved it, I could reset it to 0 and 0. And I can change its size to 1280 by 720. Okay, so now it's the right size. To move it behind the text, well, this scene dock here and the order of the nodes determines the order in which it draws elements on the screen. even though this color rectangle is below the label, it's actually in reverse when it's drawing things on the screen. It draws things on the screen from top to bottom, and therefore the very last thing that it drew on the screen was the color rectangle, which means that it's actually on top. So if you want things to be behind, they need to be above, but still maintain the same hierarchy as the label that you want on top. So I'm gonna move color rect just right up there. It's still a child of the control, but we can just switch the order by carefully dragging them like so. And so now if I select my color rectangle, it's behind, and I can go to its color property and pick a color. I might like, I don't know, maybe a dark desaturated blue of some sort. I kind of like that. Okay, we're going to use that, and I might tweak it between now and the next video. Next up are buttons, and buttons work very similarly to color rectangles and labels. If I select my control root node and press plus, I can go into my control node category. Buttons are under this category called base button, and we actually don't want to add this specific node. It's actually not a node, it's a category. There it is, button. And button.
You got an animation? All right. Well, hey, let's check it out.
My voice, get pranked, get pranked, get pranked.
Okay. Nice. So what about that as an animation, particularly? I believe I got pranked, but...
Is actually a category amongst itself or onto itself, but we're just going to add the normal button under the base button under the control category. Okay, so with button selected, I'll press create. It gets put up at 0, 0, so I can make it bigger and I can drag it to wherever I want. Of course, with it selected, I can go over to its properties, and the first property is text. So I'm going to name this button or have it say play. Okay, so there it is, play, although that looks really boring and drab. So I'm going to select my button, and under, guess what, we have custom
theme overrides, fonts, load, that. We'll be making an animation. I'm looking forward to it.
fonts again. Now, every time that you want a font of a certain size, at least in terms of the difficulty we're getting into in this mini-series, you need to make a new dynamic font. So I'm going to enable under custom fonts font, and I'm going to say new dynamic font, and the text goes away because now I have to open up that dynamic font resource and go into font and drag in the font file that I want. I'm going to try Red Cost Comic and drag that in there, and now I can go to the dynamic font settings. I can change the size. Let's try, I don't know, 60.
I'm sick of this guy like playing around with font sizes and things.
And we have
I kind of just want to learn the next thing.
And if I go to change its color, I can do that, of course. Although buttons have a cooler thing about them. If I select the button and go out of this dynamic font, so just click the dynamic font to collapse it, buttons have custom colors for different states. We can pick a normal font color, so just the way that the color of the button looks, so I can enable
colors. Oh, look at that. Font hover. Let's make it pink for hover. And there.
it, and let's say make it kind of a greeny yellow color because that's the color for play. and I can then have a hover color, and this will appear whenever I put my mouse over the button area. So if I make the hover color, let's say orangey in color, we won't see it right now, but we'll see it when we play the game. And I'm going to make a color for the pressed state. So as I'm actually clicking on it, I'm going to have it go to
You're going to get out of here.
a bright
All right.
pinky
Well, thanks
color.
for being here.
Kind of like
We'll
that.
see you again
okay?
soon.
One thing we can also do is right under the basic settings of the button, so up here where you set the text of it, you can make the button style flat, so you can get rid of that ugly rectangle around the button and just have it look like text.
Wait, what?
That, okay? One thing we can also do is right under the basic settings of the button, so
Toggle mode, disabled, group shortcut. I think once again he's gonna have stuff I don't have.
up here where you set the text of it, you can make the button style flat, so you can get
Flat. Oh,
rid of that ugly rectangle around the button and just have it look like text. So now if
see you later, Swizzy. Thank you for being here. Hope you had fun.
I go and play this scene, it'll ask me to save it, and that's good. Yes, I will save it. I'll just call it menu.tscn. And
it does the thing. It becomes... Oh. It doesn't resize, but it does the thing.
and it'll be in my res project folder and save. It will play and we can see this menu, and if I hover over it, it goes orange. That's the hover color, and if I click on it, it'll turn pink just before it does what it's going to do. Okay, so that's how you make a menu screen. Last but not least, let's program the button. So if I select my button, first thing I'll do is I'm going to give it a name.
Listening to this guy talk, I'm like, guy, you need to stop and take a drink. He just sounds like he needs to drink some water.
This button is on the title screen, and it's the play button. So I'm going to give it an appropriate name. I'll double click on it in my scene doc. I'm going to call it button-title-play. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you just leave all of your buttons named button, things might go awry for you if you name the code always button.gd or the GD script font just called button, because then you'll have all your buttons try to have the same kind of code. We'll see that in a sec.
Getting a bit warm. I guess I could just take off my robe, but it's too pretty. Doot, doot. There we go.
But we want to name them first. Next, I'm going to add a script to this button, and when I do that, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. It names the GD, the script file, the name of your button by default. And you can change this, but I just find it handy to name your button right away, and therefore it'll name the script file for your button.
So Ah. Button play. Template. I think I don't want a template. I'm not going to do a template.
Same as the actual button, and that way you know which button's code file belongs to which button. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. We're going to use GDScript, of course. We're going to leave it inheriting code from button. We're going to have no comments turned on. And I'm going to save this script file into our scripts folder. So I'm going to press the little folder button, go into my scripts folder in my project folder, and click open, I guess. And now I can press create. So we're creating this in our scripts folder. And create. So how do you program a button to go to a different scene? Because this button of our title menu should actually jump to our game's level. Well, we're actually going to use something that are called signals. And signals are a way in Godot that objects, code, can communicate with other objects. Code or objects can communicate with other objects. Where you can see and work with these signals is both in your code, or either in your code, in a script file, or if you have a node selected, you can go over to the Node tab next to the inspector, and if you have a node selected, you're going to see the signals, the built-in signals that are kind of like event handlers. They're common events and reasons why you might want to have a node communicate either with itself or with another node. So with a button, you might want to trigger some code or run a function when the button is down, or when the button is up, or when the button is pressed. You might also want to have code run when that button becomes focused on, like if they press tab on their screen, or if they do something that makes it focused, or when you put your mouse over that button, or when you take your mouse out of that button, so mouse exited. So there's lots of common reasons why you might want to trigger code. You can also make your own signals, and we'll get into that probably a little ways after this first mini-series in our simple 3D game, okay? But with my button selected under the node tab, so this node dock, I'm going to double click on pressed, and I've already got a script on this button. That's important. So if I double click on this press signal of our button, this window is going to pop up, and it's going to be asking us, hey, we want to make a function, a little block of code. In other words, a mini program. That's what a function is, that will let us handle when a button is pressed. Now, if we're going to make a little function, we need to know what code file we're going to put that function in. And we can actually have that code file be on any object in our game. So that's how you can communicate with other nodes or objects in your game, by choosing the one that you want to send a signal to from this list. But we're actually going to make this button talk to itself or handle its own button pressed action or signal. So I'm going to select button title play. That's this button that we're currently working with, and it's going to make a new function or a method called on button title play pressed. Button title play is the name of this button without the dashes in it, and this is the name of the function that we're about to create. So I clicked here, and then I'm going to press connect. And when I do that, it created a new function for me. It only had this code up at the top before. And this code right now, this function, will run when we click on the button. Now, before we actually replace this line 8 with text, I want to show you that on this button title play, under the node and under the signals, there's groups and signals here, this pressed thing that we double clicked on a minute ago, it now has a little green pointer to a function name and little dots that mean itself, so it's handling its own function or signal handling. It's telling us what function is going to be run when we trigger this pressed signal. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go back to my script. What are we going to do when we press this button? That's what's going to be line 8 and anything we put in this function. Well, I'm going to use a function called get underscore tree. That's going to get basically all of the scenes that are available to me in my game. And I'm going to put a dot after that, and I'm going to say a change underscore scene, and I can just use my arrow keys to select it from the list and press enter, and I can close my round bracket. Now what goes in these round brackets is the name of the file, the scene file that you want to switch to. So I'm going to put in here double quotes, and the name of the scene file actually has to start with the name of your project folder, which by the way is always res. Okay, so this is kind of like a URL, like website path name. So we're going to put res : / 2 forward slashes, and then the name of the path or file that we want to go to. We want to go to our level.tscn. In fact, if you just click on it down here, you'll see the path that we want to get to, and you can actually copy that, Control C, and then paste it into double quotes in your code, and that code will actually work. So if I go ahead and do a quick Control S to save, and I go up to play this scene, if I go ahead and mouse over this button, of course you'll see it hover with the orange color. If I click, it will actually turn pink, and hopefully, aha, okay.
Nope. It's not working. I got invalid call, non-existent function, change scene. So we need to go back and see what I did wrong. So let's copy this again. Change scene. So we have two options, two file or two packed. Well, it's writing the code for me, which is nice. Let's see if that does it. There we go. So unfortunately there's a lot that's different between his tutorial and my version of Godot, but I made it work. Thankfully Godot does a lot for you, and I really like that.
Actually has to start with the name of your project folder, which by the way is always res. Okay, so this is kind of like a URL. It down here, this button of pink, a little bit of time to load up our game. So now I've switched into the game. If I go ahead and try that again, if I play this menu or title screen, it will work, and I can press the button and it'll take a few moments to load that other scene into my game's memory, but here it is. I don't know why it's taking quite so long in this take, but there, it works. Now the last thing we're going to do in this video is make this menu screen our default game screen, because when you export your final game, you want your game project to know that this scene should come up first and not your main level. When I press this play button, it's actually going to want me to define which scene is my default scene. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to press the normal play button, not the play scene button, and it's going to say no main scene has ever been defined. Select one. You can change it later in project settings under application category. So I'm going to press select, and I'm going to select my menu.tscn file and press open. And so now I can always use just the normal play button to get to the title screen of my game, and I can press play, and after a few moments my main game level will load. And I can go ahead and play my game, and everything works just fine. Okay, so that will be it for this video. Of course, if you like this video, if you learned something...
Okay, so I learned buttons are pretty easy. So on pressed, it'll do a thing. And I suppose I could do the same thing with like game objects. In fact, let's go back to our 3D scene. Collision object on mouse entered, on mouse exit. So these are going to be huge for me. And the nodes are different for each kind of object. For button, we can have mouse clicks and things. That is not present on these game objects. Property change, tree entered, exited, exiting, renamed, ready. How about cameras? Pretty much the same. And visibility has changed. So if you have an object that becomes invisible, you can have it like disappear. Actually remove itself from the game. That's interesting. Do I want to do another video? What's next? Enemies, animation, collision, game over. I feel like my brain is full, like I know all the things I'm gonna know next stream. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep going or not. I think I will end it here. I think I've learned plenty. I'm kind of easing myself back into streaming. I had a rough week last week, and it's a little rough this week too. So I think we'll end it here, and I'll come back tomorrow maybe. I don't know. All right, that's it for me today. So, Fritz, is there anyone to, nope, black screen again, still a black screen. We need to teach you how to turn a computer on. Right, I don't think there's anyone with me, so I am just going to end it. So, I'll be back at some point, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. Maybe I'll wait until Friday. Or next week, I don't know. No raid today, so you're fending for yourselves. And that's it. Alright. Thank you for watching. And good night, whatever you are.